Risk analysis is a strategic approach used to understand and manage potential threats that could compromise the success of a project, an investment, or the broader operation of a business. In the context of political and economic risk analysis, this means dissecting various socio-economic and geopolitical factors that can affect the environment in which a business operates. The stability of a country is essential linked to its political and economic environment. They serve as dual pillars upon which the country's well-being rests.
Political risk analysis looks into how changes in government policy shifts, political unrest, regulatory changes, and other political events could impact the operations and profitability of a business. For instance, a change in government could lead to a change in economic policy, impacting tax laws or foreign investment regulations. Political stability manifests in predictable governance, rule of law, and transparent institutions, which are key determinants of a favorable operating environment for businesses and investors. Economic risk analysis, on the other hand, evaluates the economic factors that could affect supply and demand, currency valuations, interest rates, and ultimately the profitability of an endeavor. These factors include economic growth rates, inflation, exchange rate fluctuations, and macroeconomic policies. A stable economy generally offers a predictable environment for businesses to flourish, characterized by steady growth, controlled inflation, and a reliable banking system.
The correlation between political and economic risk analysis and the stability of a country is therefore significant. Firstly, investment confidence. Economic and political stability directly influence investor confidence. When risks are low, the perceived safety for investment heightens, attracting both domestic and international funds. Such investment is essential for economic health, driving employment, fostering innovation, and enabling wealth circulation. Confidence from investors leads to durable economic growth as they feel secure in committing their resources, assured by the consistent, promising conditions a stable nation provides. Second, policy predictability. A stable political climate fosters predictability in policymaking, essential for investment strategies. Investors depend on consistent regulations and a foreseeable business environment to plan long-term investments. Unpredictable shifts in policies can jeopardize existing and future investments. Therefore, political stability providing reassurance that the regulatory landscape won't shift unpredictably enables business to plan growth and contribute to a steady economy free from the fear of sudden adverse policy alterations.
Number 3. Mitigation of conflict. Stability implies a lack of conflict, which is vital for economic health. Stable politics reduce the likelihood of internal strife, prioritizing dialogue over destructive conflict. Warfare or civil unrest redirect resources from growth to repair and may decimate infrastructure critical for economic activities. A nation free from such conflicts offers a secure environment for business to operate, ensuring that investment are not threatened by violence or the instability it brings. Number 4. Socio-economic development. Political and economic stability not only prevent detriment but also actively encourage societal advancement. With state stability, investment in key social infrastructure like education, health, and transport become viable. These sectors enhance quality of life and efficiency, upskilling the labor force, thereby benefiting business indirectly. Investment in human capital and infrastructure underpin long-term economic growth and societal well-being.
Next, we move on to the last topic, which is risk contingency. In stable nations, robust risk management is deeply ingrained in the societal framework. These countries typically boost its extensive insurance programs, underpinning assurance across various sectors. A sound legal environment further contribute to this safeguard, providing a predictable platform for handling unforeseen events. Additionally, vigorous regulatory agencies play a crucial role in order to ensuring the adherence to policies designed for crisis prevention and mitigation. These risk contingency strategies foster a sense of security, ensuring that should potential threats become realities, there are established procedures to address them effectively. This systematic resilience not only protects economic endeavors, but also dampens the potential for disruption, as well as maintaining societal equilibrium.
To sum up, a true understanding of political and economic risk is essential for determining a country's stability, which in turn influence business strategy and investment choice. The fewer the risk, the more stable the country is perceived to be, and this stability acts as a foundation for sustainable development and attractive business opportunities. I think that's all from us. Thank you.
Welcome, esteemed panelists, in today's forum where we discuss the complex issue of Russia's geopolitical maneuvering and its associated risk. So let's ensure a fruitful discussions that broadens our collective understandings of this crucial geopolitical actor. Before we start our forum, let me introduce our panelists for today. Professor IKMAL HAKIM as political analyst, Professor Dr. Ahmad Aiman as economic expert, Major Nizam John as military strategist, and Sir Ahmad SYAHMI as a former diplomat and currently ambassador. Without further ado, let's start our forum with Dr. IKMAL HAKIM. Dr. IKMAL HAKIM, can you share your opinion based on politics?
Thank you, Mr. Adam. Russia's geopolitical strategy have deep-seated political risks, primarily due to its autocratic governance model. This concentration of power in the executive branch under President Putin has led to a lack of institutionalized political succession, which creates uncertainty over the nation's future leadership path. Internally, the suppression of dissent and independent media limits the scope of political discourse, sometimes resulting in domestic unrest. Externally, controversial annexation and armed conflict in neighboring regions have led to a sustained state of tension with Western powers, coupled with economic sanctions that contribute to political isolation. I think That's all.
Thank you, Dr. IKMAL. Let's move on to the next panelist, which is Professor Dr. Ahmad Aiman. Professor Dr. Ahmad Aiman, the floor is yours.
Inshallah. So basically, economically, the risks are twofold. The over-reliance on hydrocarbon exports and the impact of sanctions. Russia's economy is heavily dependent on oil and gas, commodities with highly volatile prices. This monodependence poses a significant risk in the diversification of its economy, making it susceptible to global energy transitions towards renewables. Additionally, Western sanctions have not only isolated Russia from financial markets, but have also gradually eroded inward investment and technology transfers, compounding economic stagnation risk. That's all from me.
Thank you, Dr. Professor Ahmad Aiman. Let's move on to the next panelist, which is Major Nizam John. Major Nizam John, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Adam. So the main point is stratagem. Okay, the stratagem. Stratagem is a key chess piece in Russia's play, with military engagement serving as both a show of strength and geopolitical risk. Russia fosters a sphere of influence through military interventions, as seen in Georgia, Ukraine, and Syria. So these actions to solidifying short-term goals evoke strong international response and sanctions, inflating defense spending and diverting funds from vital domestic economic development. Moreover, the burgeoning arms race, cyber warfare capabilities, and defensive posturing risk escalating into larger conflicts. That's it.
Thank you, Major Nizam John. So let's move on to the next panelist and our last panelist, which is Sir Ahmad SYAHMI, the former diplomat and currently serve as ambassador. Sir Ahmad SYAHMI, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Adam. Diplomatically, Russia faced a conundrum. Persistent allegations of election interference and cyber espionage have severely tarnished Russia's global image. The strategic pursuit of alliances with countries like China or Syria is often seen as an inclination toward authoritarian regimes, complicating relations with democratic nations. While Russia seeks respect as a global power, retaliatory sanction and erosion of trust in international forums like the UN risk polarizing global governance and pushing Russia toward a pariah status, further limiting its global diplomatic maneuvering space. I think that's all from me.
Thank you, all panelists. Today's discussion elucidates the inherent risks of Russia's political strategies and its economic posture. This insight illustrates the chessboard of global politics, where Russia's moves are met with equal and opposite counter-moves. The interconnectivity of political risk and economic vulnerability has indeed been brought to the fore. Robust through it may be, Russia's approach carries implications that are felt worldwide. Our job is to watch, analyze, and talk about this move and their potential to shape the future. Let us reconvene soon to further examine the unfolding of this intricate geopolitical dynamic. So let's move on to the next round, which is round Q&A. We have several questions to our panelists. Question number 1 to Dr. Ahmad Iqmal Hakim. Given the concentration of power in Russia executive branch, how do you see the nation addressing the challenging of ensuring a stable political succession in the future? Dr. Ahmad Ikmal, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Adam. Good question. Ensuring a stable political succession in Russia requires a shift towards institutionalized governance. What I want try to say here, this could involve reforms promoting transparency, check and balance, and perhaps exploring avenues for a more inclusive political dialogue. That's all from me.
Thank you for the question. Thank you for the comfortable answer, Dr. Ikmal Hakim. So we move on to question 2 to Professor Dr. Ahmad Aiman.
Inshallah.
How can Russia mitigate the economic risk associated with the heavy reliance on hydrocarbon export, especially considering global trends towards renewable energy sources?
Okay, so I will answer to this question. So first of all, diversification is key. Russia should invest in developing non-energy sectors, fostering innovation and creating policies that attract diverse investments. This approach will help buffer against the volatility of hydrocarbon markets and align with global shift towards sustainable energy. I hope that's answered the question.
Thank you, Professor Dr. Ahmad Aiman. So let's move on to the next question. The questions to Major Ahmad Nizam John. How can Russia balance its military interventions to achieve geopolitical goals without triggering strong international responses and sanctions? The floor is yours.
Thank you for the question. I think a nuanced approach is necessary. Russia should prioritize diplomatic solutions, engage in a dialogue with affected nations, and consider cooperative strategies that align with international norms. So this can help avoid unnecessary escalations and reduce the risk of a severe international backlash. So that's all from me.
Thank you, Major Nizam. So this is the last questions for today. The question is to Sir Ahmad SYAHMI. With Russians facing global criticism, how can the nations work toward rebuilding trust in international forum and fostering better diplomatic relations, especially with democratic nations? Sir Ahmad SYAHMI, the floor is yours.
You asked a good question, Mr. Adam. Rebuilding trust requires tangible actions. Russia should address concerns related to election interference, enhance transparency, and actively engage in diplomatic initiatives that demonstrate a commitment to international cooperation and adherence to democratic principles. I hope that will answer your question, Mr. Adam.
Thank you, Sir Ahmad SYAHMI. So with Sir Ahmad SYAHMI answer, that marks the end for our forum. Thank you for your cooperation, and let's see you soon. Thank you and have a great day.
Let's move on to the last question, which is explore the intricate relationship between politics and the economy within the realm of international relation. In international relation, the nexus between politics and the economy is complex and multidimensional. Political decisions often have significant economic repercussions, and economic conditions can heavily influence political landscape. This interplay is pivotal in global interaction among states, organizations,
and actors.
The intricate relationship between politics and the economy within the realm of international relations has several factors. The first one is sovereign decisions and economic ripples. The policies that nations adopt can have profound consequences for global economic systems. For example, a nation's trade policy, influenced by political ideologies and strategy interest, can affect global supply chains and trade balances. Tariff imposition, trade agreements, or sanctions illustrate how political maneuvers can either inhibit or stimulate economic activity across borders. Economic power as political leverage. Economic strength often translates into political influence. The ability to control key resources, from energy supplies to vital trade routes, can give countries considerable sway over others. For instance, nations with significant oil reserves can exert influence beyond their borders through energy diplomacy, while countries dominating manufacturing or technology sectors can set standards and practices that others must follow.
Next, we move on to global economic institution and political will. Organizations such as the International Monetary Fund (IMF), World Bank, and World Trade Organization (WTO) embody the intersections of politics and the economy. These institutions craft policies that shape international economic interactions, but they are also arenas for political negotiations and power struggles among states, reflecting their diverse interests and priorities. Next, the polarity of economic ideologies. Capitalism, socialism, and other economic systems are underpinned by political philosophies. The global advocacy for this system shapes international relations, as seen during the Cold War when the US and the Soviet Union promote diametrically opposed economic models. Today, the competitions between different forms of capitalism, such as the state-led model of China versus the more liberal market approach of the West, this influence diplomatic and economic dynamic.
Moreover, financial system and international stability. The political stability of a region can be deeply intertwined with its economic condition. A nation's currency value, debt levels, and investment climate can either be sources of power or vulnerability. As example, the ASEAN financial crisis in the late 1990s and the more recent European debt crisis show how economic downturns can lead to political unrest and a reshuffling of international alliances and priorities. In addition, development and diplomacy. Economic development is a primary goal for many countries and a source of soft power. Aid investment and development projects can be diplomatic tools used by wealthier nations to forge alliances, stabilize regions, and open markets. As example, the competition for influence in Africa between major power utilizing investment in infrastructure and development aid exemplifies this strategy.
The next point is trade networks and security. Economic relationships often have security implications. For example, dependency on a foreign power for critical resources can be a significant security risk. Hence, political decisions regarding trade partnerships and domestic economic policies are made with an eye to national security. The last point is multinational corporations as actors. Beyond states, multinational corporations play crucial roles in international politics due to their economic impact. Their investments, labor practices, and technology transfers can influence diplomatic relations between countries, sometimes challenging state sovereignty.
In summary, within the realm of international relations, the interplay between politics and the economy is perpetual and deeply embedded. The success of nations on the international stage often depends on how skillfully they navigate this complex relationship, balancing internal political pressures with external economic opportunities and challenges. I think that's all from us. Thank you.